I have often said to many of you in this room that the stars were aligned in this project. By partnering with the University of Arizona, the U of A bookstores, the Arizona Daily Star, we were on our way and we never looked back.
I'm so proud of Tucson because for once, you all look like one gigantic New Yorker cartoon. When do we eat? He's not funny. When will he shut up? I'm here just to hear Jance.
In 1964, they wouldn't allow me in the creative writing program because I was a girl. And so it was really wonderful in 2000 when they gave me an honorary doctorate of humane letters.
One picture is worth 1,000 words. You give me 1,000 words and I can give you the Lord's Prayer, the 23rd Psalm, the Hippocratic Oath, a sonnet by Shakespeare, the preamble to the Constitution, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, the last drafts of Martin Luther King's speech to the March on Washington, and the final entry of Anne Frank's diary. You give me 1,000 words, I wouldn't trade you for any picture on earth.
The more you write, the harder it gets, because you don't want to write the same scenes over and over. You want to keep it fresh. I'm in my 80s and I still love to write.
Sports writer is the only occupation in journalism that I know of which is one word. It's as if the subject can't be separated from the journalist. Sports writer, one word. Everything else is two words. And it's often, or most often, it's not the stars who are the best people to write about at all. The stars are young. Nothing much has ever happened to them.
With one of the pleasures of being a novelist is the capacity to go backward and forward in time and see your characters and visit them at different times of their lives.
And the Oscar goes to Larry McMurtry, Diana Ossana for Brokeback Mountain.
What I think this place is really about is right here tonight with us. TFOB is what it's about. All of us together, celebrating art, celebrating words, looking out for each other, and remembering we're a family.
I think the whole point of my career has been about getting kids to read, and that's what I'm most proud of. All I want kids to take away from these books is the fact that you can turn to reading and just be entertained.
Maybe you've heard me tell my all-time favorite letter. This was from a boy. Dear R.L. Stine, I've read 40 of your books, and I think they're really boring.
This is before 24-hour news networks, okay? I would go upstairs, watch the 11 o'clock news, and if something struck me as funny, it would be on Weekend Update a half hour later. Writers, I didn't realize it at the time because I thought the whole world worked like that. And it was actually 2 times when I was with that show. While they were on the air doing Weekend Update, I was underneath the desk writing jokes and handing it up to them.
In some way, a good book is as exciting and rewarding as anything you're ever going to do in your life.
The previous winners of the Founders Award are all iconic authors, and 2 of them, Elmore Leonard and Larry McMurtry, are personal heroes of mine.
Just keep writing your brains out, because I think for all of us, I hope, maybe you share this, that for me, reading what you have written, reading great work is the greatest and most reliable inspiration and consolation that I've ever felt.
People who are really writers write when their lives are imperfect, because if you're waiting for perfection, you're never going to get around to writing at all.
Books live and change as we grow, and what we get out of them continues to change as well.
Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of thought, they're all inextricably linked and essential to our way of life. And books are the affirmation of that idea. And this book festival is an affirmation of that idea.
It's a mad world we live in a world that is mysterious, undefined, without purpose. and I try to make purpose by making art. I don't want to know the ending. I want to find out. I mean, this is why it's so exciting to me and why I only write fiction. You never know. I never know whether it will come together or not, or how it will come together.
I love this festival. This is probably my 6th time being at the Tucson Festival. I want to say to the writers, first and foremost, thank you for telling your stories, for giving us a way to walk through the world, for giving us a way out of no way. That when we read a book, we come out of it different than we were when we went into it. I was someone different when I left that book. I was someone with more empathy. I was someone with who was more thoughtful, and I was someone who just wanted things to be different in this world.
When I was United States Poet Laureate, and I love saying that, it's a great way to start sentences. Poetry has become, it's probably the most egotistical of the arts because the self is foregrounded and the self is the subject, the I.
When I was around 37 or 38 years old, I discovered something. I discovered this voice. That voice was formed by reading. That voice had an external source. And I think most of your authors will agree that you learn your voice, you learn how to write from other writers.